book is so messy, full of drama, full of angst. Like it says like it says in the description, there is no foul language, no graphic scenes of sex, violence, or gore.
I feel like that's a lie.
God, you call me by my name. The love you give me, I just can't deny. Yeah. No longer blinded, I can see you.
Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel if you're a returning subscriber. If you are new, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Jasmine, and on this channel we talk all about faith in Jesus Christ, books, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Come join the fam. We would absolutely love to have you. And I'm so excited about this video, as in every single video I feel like. But we are going over the best Christian books that I read in 2024, and I have romance, fantasy, romantic suspense. I have so many options, historical fiction, and I'm just going to pick one from each category and kind of go from there. And hopefully this will give you guys some inspiration, some recommendations on which books you should pick up in 2025. So let's just get on with the video. So the first book that I read in the new year, which was 2024, last year, this was my first romantic or rom-com romantic comedy book. I've never read a romantic comedy book before this, so this book was one of my favorites, and that is Wooing Cadie McCaffrey by Bethany Turner. Not only was this my first rom-com romance, but this was also my first romantic Christian novel as well that I read. This book was so good. So good. So if I can remember correctly, this book follows our main character, Cadie, and she starts working at this new sports business place, and she finds this guy named Will. They end up falling in love, and so many other things happen in the book. I honestly can't remember now since I read this at the beginning of last year, but it was so cute when I read it. I know it was, and it was so funny, and honestly the beginning of the book caught me off guard. It caught me off guard so much because they were dating. They had like Christian perspective. They were dating for like 4 years, and something, I'm not gonna tell you what because I think it was like a plot twist that shouldn't be told, but something happened in the book where like it kind of made like everything change, and the whole plot of the book is based on this one like thing that happened in the book, and it was really good. I loved it. I think I gave this book like 4 stars when I read it. Super cute, rom-com-y, really funny. I literally could not put this book down, and then when I did put the book down, I wanted to pick it up like immediately. It was just that good. So if you haven't already, check out Bethany Turner. She is a Christian romantic comedy writer. She writes like contemporary romance, and I've loved her so far. I did give one of her books 1 star, but this was like one of my favorites from her, so check this book out if you haven't already. The next book was the Peasant King by Tessa Afshar. This book is so good. This is a Christian fantasy novel, so if you guys have never heard of Christian fantasy, check this book out. It's so good. So this follows our main characters, Gemma and Asher. This is a dual point of view book, and basically Gemma's mom is a Persian scribe, and she gets kidnapped. So when she gets kidnapped, Gemma has to go and basically find her mother. When she finds her mother in the jail cell, there's also another man in the jail cell with her, which is actually Asher, and they kind of break both her mother and Asher out of this prison, and they're kind of like on the run basically. But what she doesn't know is that Asher is the prince. That is really, really cool. I loved it. I loved the romance between Gemma and Asher. This book was just so good. Go check this book out. I've heard so much about Tessa Afshar, and I really wanted to give her a chance in 2024, and I love this book. This book is something that I still think about all the time. It just gives all the cozy vibes, and it's a Christian fantasy with a lot of romance, just beautiful faith elements. Check this book out if you have not already. The next book is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, and this book was literally life-changing. This book I gave 5 stars. I have an entire review vlog on this book, so go check it out right here if you haven't seen that already. I'll also leave it down in the link down below as well. But this book was so good. So this follows our main character, Angel, and she got sold into prostitution at a very, very young age, and now that's kind of like all she knows until she meets Michael Hosea. And when she meets Michael Hosea, Michael kind of like falls in love with her because God told him that he was gonna be her husband, and he didn't believe it. She was kind of like the most popular prostitute in the brothel that was there. This book is set in 1850, and so you'll see a lot of just forgiving elements from Michael's side, and I'm not going to speak too much about anything else. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this all over booktube anyways. If you guys have not read this, go read this, especially for the women. This book is life-changing, and it really just shows how much God loves us and that he will bring our husbands to us when the time is right, and if it's the right man, he'll fight for you and forgive you a million times over. 77 times 7, a man will forgive you. And that's exactly what Michael Hosea did every single time. Like, the things that this girl was doing in this book was literally annoying the crap out of me because she finally had a good man in her life. But with all of the things that she had in her heart and in her mind, she honestly couldn't forgive herself. So she had to learn that Michael loved her, but not only that Michael loved her, but God also loved her. So this is a Hosea and Gomer retelling. Really, really good story. I loved it. So if you are a woman, read this book. It's such a good book to read. Such a good book to read. The next book is A Distant Shore by Karen Kingsbury. This book right here. This book was so good. This is a romantic suspense novel, and this follows our main character, Eliza, and Jack Ryder. This is a dual point of view book. Jack Ryder is an FBI agent, and Eliza was sold into prostitution by her father, which is a drug lord. But turns out in this book, Eliza is the same person that Jack saved 10 years beforehand. I think it was like 10 years beforehand. Yeah, 10 years beforehand, from drowning. So that is a really, really cute book. I tabbed it up. I feel like if you like this book, you would love this book. I feel like they're kind of like one and the same. They kind of have the same concepts of the girl being in prostitution and her having to be forgiven by God, first of all, and then learning how to be loved by a man after, you know, being used by a man for so long. So yeah, so good. My next book that I recommend is If I Run by Terry Blackstock. You guys know I've talked about this book before. This was one of the first Christian romantic suspense books that I've read. So good. It was so good. Such a good book. This follows our main characters, Casey and Dylan. This is a dual point of view book. Casey found her friend murdered in his house, and now she's running from the police because she left all of her, like, all the evidence is literally going back to her because her footprints are on the murder scene, her fingerprints are all over the murder scene, but she's running from the cops because of something that happened to her father way back in her past. So Dylan is after her because he is a private investigator that just got out of the military, and when he is investigating this whole thing, he sees that she's innocent, and they kind of form like this bond through that, kind of a little bit. So I thought this book was so phenomenal, such a good book. If you want a romantic suspense book that is just like, you just don't know what's gonna happen, read this book. Read this book. It's so good. So good. You guys would love it. You guys would really love it. The next book I have is Withered Rose by Valencia Elaine. This book is a really good book for all of my mafia girlies. If you like mafia romance, I feel like you would like this book. This is following our main character, Rosa, and she is in the Italian mafia in New York. She runs away from her life of being a mafia princess, and she goes to live a normal life. Well, her brother found her, kidnapped her back, and now is making her, putting her in an arranged marriage with the German mafia underboss, which is Amory Jaeger or Hager, and it's kind of like their love story. I feel like this book is so messy. This book is so messy, full of drama, full of angst, like it says, like it says in the description, there is no foul language, no graphic scenes of sex, violence, or gore. I feel like that's a lie, honestly. There is graphic material in this book. There is, I feel like anyways, heavy descriptions on sexual content. Me personally, that's what I think, even though it does say that it's a Christian book. I don't know. Maybe not. But I guess this is kind of a different in opinions. Like, I've read clean romance and I've read this book, and this book just doesn't compare to those. I was kind of like, whoa, is this a Christian novel? It is a Christian novel because they talk about God, but I still gave this book 5 stars anyways, because even though I wasn't fond of the sexual content, it was still a good premise that I was like, ooh, like I want to read the second book after this. So it's on my list. I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars when I rated it, but just know that there is sexual content in this book. Like, there's sexual content in this book. I'm just gonna say it. Like, even though the description say that it's not, there is. Okay, and my last book on this list is going to be literally anything by Colleen Coble. Like, Colleen Coble is like she's the queen, bro. Like, she's the queen of murder mysteries. Like, she's the freaking queen of that. But I would want to say the first book of the Pelican Harbor series. I did end up finishing that series this year, and the first book in the series is called One Little Lie by Colleen Coble. That book was so good. It follows our main characters, Jane, and our main character, Reed. So Reed and Jane is a okay, she's a sheriff. So there's Jane Hardy. She is a sheriff in Pelican Harbor, and she's investigating this murder. And then there is Reed, who is doing a documentary series thing. He does like documentary movies, and he gets to follow Jane Hardy on her murder case, and it's like so much more than that, because throughout the book we're finding so much more about her past and his past, and how they are gonna come together and be this couple. It's really cute. I loved it. I think you guys will love it. Every single book in the series I've given 5 stars, so I think you guys would really enjoy it as well. So go ahead and read the Pelican Harbor series. There's 3 books in the series by Colleen Coble. You will not be disappointed. It was really, really good. And yeah, so that's it, guys. If you like videos like this, definitely leave a comment down below saying that you want more videos like this. And other than that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you, but God loves you so, 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 so much more. Bye. Mwah.
I'm on my way to meet you. We gotta talk, you know. All these trials and tribulations got me tired.